Welcome back to another segment of Impact on Life. I'm your host, Greg Aidala, and with me today is an in-house great guest I'm excited to talk with. He's a technical manager here at Proctors and Open Stage Media. Please welcome Bob Shenese. Bob, how's it going? On the other side of the camera.
Hey,
that's
this
what
is
I'm talking
actually
about.
working today, too.
Yeah, but that's good. So you're out here. No, it's good to see you. Everyone here has been kind to me over the past few months, and you're a vital part of this.
Well, thank you.
You know, of Open Stage Media and the show. No, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I thought first of all, thank you for letting me come on your show.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're running short on guests. I was like,
this
Bob. Come on, that's the joke. You even said it off air. That's funny.
I'm good.
No, it's good stuff. But no, continue.
Well, I started here at Proctors part-time back in, I believe it was August of last year, 2011. I had done some free workshops, lighting workshops, and I guess they liked my work or whatever, so Philip asked me to come in here and knew I had a technical geez, that I could take care of some issues, and here I am.
Yeah, because bring that up, because your background extends it's got to be 30 years, and you were in television markets all over.
Yeah, I've been in broadcast television about 37 years. Wow. I started at the WPTZ in Plattsburgh, New York as a operations maintenance engineer.
Oh, it's cold up there.
And then it came down to Albany because I only had the one winter in Plattsburgh. It was too cold for me.
It is too cold. Oh yeah.
When you're in a nice warm bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and it's 40 degrees outside, the last thing you want to do is go to work.
Very true.
But I had to turn on the equipment at the station, turn the station on, and get going for the day. So. That was one winter I will never forget, and I don't want to repeat that at all.
I know, and fortunately here in the Northeast has been great.
Like,
this weather's been so mild. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, who is against global warming, really?
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding. Come on. All right, so you came back down to Albany. So
I came down to Albany.
Okay.
I worked, had a few jobs in television. Channel 13 was one. I was operation maintenance engineer.
Oh, you know our friend Benita's on then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw her the other night, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
And went to Hudson Valley Community College. They were putting in their first color television studio.
Hey, that's where I got my associate's degree, by the way, before
I assisted in the build. It was at Braun Hall. They have a new building now. And from there, I went to Department of Corrections.
Okay.
Department of Corrections had a television facility that was a vocational rehabilitation training center for inmates where they would learn job skills in television.
Sweet.
So I did that. I was chief engineer there. And then I got pulled into Channel 10.
Ooh, the bitter rivals.
Yeah, well, actually, PM Magazine, I don't know if you remember the show, but it was the first ever nationally syndicated magazine show that was locally produced.
Yes, I have heard of that. We discussed this once before.
Yeah, I did that for 5 years. And that was a great show. People gave you gifts, free lunch, and it was really nice because it was a fun gig to work on. And when that show was canceled, unfortunately, after 5 years, I was pulled into news because I have a technical background. I could then run their ENG trucks and satellite trucks and shoot and edit. But then it was like, get that freaking camera out of my face, So it was a big change in the way your operation. But that I did that for 15 years at Channel 10.
Oh wow, is that right? I just want to say my apologies for Bob using the F word, freaking.
Oh, freaking.
Oh, I'm kidding. Come on. No, it was a callback. All right, so then 15 years.
For PM Magazine, went to the news department, did 15 years there.
Yep.
And I decided I had enough of broadcast television. I always wanted to do an independent thing and do freelance work. Had a long chat with my wife, who was very supportive with what I wanted to do. And I left Channel 10 and started Shenese Productions.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm director of photography and owner of Shenese Productions. And been very fortunate to fall into some really nice work. Did a lot of national programs like the History Channel, Modern Marvels. I did 13 Modern Marvels series with the History Channel.
Oh, that's great. I love that show.
I did 5 of the state series.
Okay.
And worked for E! Entertainment, for just about all the networks pretty much at some point in time. Actually worked with James Taylor on his one-man band.
Oh, come on. How great must have that been?
Yeah, that was...
James Taylor?
What a nice guy.
Sure is. His wife's from Albany.
Yes.
His wife now, yeah.
Voorheesville, I think. Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
I think
correct?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Kim. And so I've been doing a lot of work freelance, and Proctors discovered me and offered me this part-time job, and it's a fun gig, and I enjoy doing it. And a lot of neat people, and it's really a nice place to work. I really enjoy it.
No, I get that feeling too. Sorry, I didn't mean to touch your knee like that. Oh, sorry. It's a small studio.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that. Since October is the most I've ever walked outside an event. The halls of Proctors, and it seems that everyone has really been pretty cool and,
Yeah,
and very.
Yeah, it's a very creative place to work,
Sure.
and it allows me to bring them along to television. They don't have the experience in television. They've taken over public, educational, and government access channels, and I just completely rewired their master control and squared that away. And now we're developing more of this production with Impact and a few other things, and hopefully it'll grow into bigger and better things, and we'll have a premier television production studio for residents of the Capital Region. So.
Absolutely. No, I think it's important. It's vital,
Yeah.
and I think it's definitely possible.
I think so.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, your name, what's the genesis of Shenese?
Well, that's been a tough thing to figure out. It's from what I understand, my great-grandfather is from the Salzburg, Austria area, although I can't confirm that.
Mozart. Nice.
Because, you know, with all the wars, a lot of the papers and documents have been destroyed. So I come to a stone wall when it goes to doing some of my genealogy and trying to figure out where my relatives are all from. But
well, where would you like to be from? No, I'm just kidding. Well, all right, what would you, does your last name have a meaning?
Not that I'm aware.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware. Although doing some search on the internet, there's some Scottish derivatives of my name too. So.
Uh-oh. Scottish.
You know, I think my great-great-grandfather's fooling around a little bit.
Really?
No, you know.
You start wearing kilts.
Well,
so you got the top plaid
I've been
down.
to Scotland years ago too. That was the one job I was on.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah.
How was that? I've never been there. That must be pretty wild.
We shot a week in Scotland for PM Magazine, and we stayed at the Albany Hotel.
Is that right?
In Scotland. And then traveled
See
all
some
through.
Vikings?
No. It's fun. I went to Edinburgh and traveled around in the locks.
Anything unique stand out when you were there? Like any
it rained like
culture? Like,
yeah, it was
really?
really wet. Yeah, and while people were viewing the crown jewels in the castle of Edinburgh, I was standing outside with my raincoat over the camera to protect it from getting wet.
Were they fun
There's
people?
a picture of that somewhere. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. It was a great place. Yeah. I enjoyed.
Why don't you find that picture and insert it into the show?
Okay, I'll try to do that.
Insert here.
Insert here.
Do it.
Yeah.
Were they good people over there? Because there's a big, you know,
I love the beer.
I've had friends that have been involved in, you know, in the comedy world. You know, the big comedy and arts fest out in Edinburgh, and I've never been, so I would love to. They say it's really hip and
it's very
fun and cool.
Europe is cool.
I've only been to Italy, so you know, and I appreciate that. I'd love to see more of it.
I think one of my most memorable experiences was going to Africa. I did 2 trips to Africa.
Oh wow.
One with Judy Sanders, who was
from
formerly
Channel 6, right?
Yeah, Channel 6 Capitol Bureau Chief. She's now independent. She's working for the governor, actually, as his photographer. But we went over and shot a documentary for Film Aid International and a few other organizations. There's a refugee camp called Kakuma Refugee Camp, where there's 35,000 misplaced peoples from the war and strife in that area of Africa. And the International Rescue Committee takes care of those folks there. So we visited. It was 4 days. It was a long flight over, 3 days on site, and a long flight back.
So that's a foundation down there?
It's part of the International Rescue Committee that runs the camp. I mean, you have 35,000 people from all over Africa.
So, but there's a central site that people could find out information?
Yes, there is.
Why don't you find that? Why don't you post that if you can? And,
okay.
Or tell the people what that is.
It's filmaidinternational.org. It's run by started by film producer Caroline Barron, who did Capote, Monsoon Wedding, The Santa Claus.
Did Capote with Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Yes.
Great. He did.
Yes.
He was awesome.
He was.
I mean, talk about film. Digress for a moment.
Yeah.
Wow. And he's from Rochester.
Yeah.
He is a talent.
He certainly is.
Oh yeah.
He certainly is. Well, she was a great person to work with, and
very nice.
And then I did a second trip where I stayed 2 weeks in South Africa. Traveled all over South Africa for community hospice here locally, who supports 3 hospice organizations in Africa, 2 in South Africa, 1 in Zimbabwe.
Oh, very nice.
And I did a documentary to help raise funds for their organization and the people over there that are working so hard to go against this tide of AIDS and HIV. So, yeah.
Very cool. That was full circle. You know,
Yeah,
we're all here and promoting stuff, and it leads back to you know, having a good program to talk to people and reach out. That's awesome.
So a lot of experience, a lot of production. I love doing documentary work and just working in TV in general. So.
Well, I can say that I'm glad that you're here, and it was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you
having
so
me,
much. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a guest.
Yeah.
Bob Shenese, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, that ends another episode of Impact on Life. Until next time, I'm your host, Greg Aidala.
Thank you, Greg.
Yes,
for a
thank you,
wonderful
Greg.
interview. That was
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
So we're done.
We're done.
We are.
For this
That's
week.
it. Absolutely.
We're not done.
But you
We're done
haven't
for this
gotten rid
week.
of us. I'm sorry.
No,
It's not
no,
happening.
we'll be back. Right?
Not yet, anyway.
So stay tuned and watch next week for a new week of Impact. Also, remember, we want to hear from you.
Yes, we do.
So how do we hear from them?
Well, they could always yodel.
They could yodel. If you don't want to yodel, you could go to our email address, impact@proctors.org, or how do they
Impact
go?
Show on Facebook.
Right,
And you
and-
might actually see us on that Facebook
Right.
page. So,
Make sure you like us on Facebook because we like you.
not on Facebook, on
On
Facebook.
Facebook.
Because we're not fake.
Right. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Proctors, bringing the best in arts, education, and entertainment.